On today's episode of TourBox. So right on the box, you have the ultimate controller for creators. And this is exactly what it looks like. It looks like a controller. If any of you edit, or you're an aspiring YouTuber or content creator, or just an artist who uses Photoshop or any of the Adobe line of software, you know better than anyone that you spend most of your time on these softwares scrolling through menu bars, zooming in, zooming out. It's part of the trade. And every time you do those things, you lose a few microseconds here, a few microseconds there. The time adds up. So if you want to be more efficient, what you want to do is get one of these babies. So basically what this is a little control panel that doesn't replace your mouse per se, but it's a complementary tool to help you access those menus more efficiently, more quickly. You can set up your favorites in some of the buttons. If there's a task that you repeat really often that you want to kind of automate, this is the tool for you. Professional editors have gigantic panels with all these knobs and dials to speed up their work. This is the scaled down version of that for the average consumer or like hobbyist video editor. So we're gonna open this up. The packaging is not lost on me. TourBox did a good job mixing some gloss and some matte finishes. This is the Neo model. The reason I got this one is because it was slightly less expensive because it still has a wire. I have to plug this in. If you have a bit more money to throw at this, you can upgrade and buy a slightly more expensive version of the TourBox. Same controls, that is Bluetooth enabled. I have a lot of jacks that are free, so for me, this was perfect. First thing you see when you open it up is the quick start guide. I like the graphic design. It's kind of got that high-tech Mac feel to it. If you remove the little start guide, there's just like a little flat space here. There's an empty slot here, which is kind of disconcerting, like something's supposed to go there. They forgot to put it in, but that could just be a design flaw. So this is what it looks like inside the box. You got your stuff all wrapped up. This is just the controller and the wire. Nothing really complicated about this. So I always have my little trusty surgical scalpel. Keep the stitches small. Here you go. This is what it looks like out of the box. The main knob is covered, so it's like you got a little protection for your knob. So you take that off, and then you also have a little wire here on the side. Mine came with a traditional USB for the side of the computer, and the other side has a USB-C. At first glance, I'm kind of impressed with the look of this. It has a matte finish for the body and the casing, and all the buttons and dials have little ridges and bumps on them to help you locate them easily when you're working quickly. There's actually substantial weight for the size of this, so I don't think that's the actual components that are that heavy. I think they were mindful to actually add weight to it so that when it's resting on your desk, and the whole idea of this is you're supposed to be using it with one hand intuitively because you've memorized all the controls. You know, kind of like Data in Star Trek. You're just like, and your fingers are going all over the place. You got one on the mouse, and you have one on your TourBox controller. That way you're never reaching over to get to your keyboard. All your main tools are on these two things, and this will save you time. These little ridges and stuff like that, I mean, if you think of Braille, people are, you know, you get to recognize these things without looking down. Obviously, it'd be more slick if this was a touch screen, but it would be completely useless in the sense of saving time because you wouldn't be able to identify the stuff. So all these dials and wheels, from what I understand, are customizable. I'm gonna check that out. I'm kind of hoping the most obvious tools, which this one I'm assuming is for a timeline when you're editing in something like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere or some other video editor, even CapCut. If you're using that, the desktop version, I think this will work. So I'm hoping the big elements on this will be plug and play the second I put it in. And I'm guessing that the other tools, this one I am guessing will be for zoom in, zoom out. And this one I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that they'll all automatically jump to some tool in Final Cut Pro, which is the software that I use to edit, and the other ones will eventually have to be customized by me. If you look, you really have a lot of buttons on this. You have 1, 2, and these kind of have a bit of tilt to them, so they might actually be double buttons. Here you got like a little almost game controller feel to it. I feel like you could play Mortal Kombat on this, or maybe Street Fighter, and all the other buttons. There's even one here on the side. So, and it fits pretty well in the hand. So I'm guessing that when you work, this is by design, so you're not patrolling over a large area to get to the tools. After going to their website and downloading a software, you basically open the TourBox console here, and it actually, you can see that it has the most important designer softwares in mind. You can have presets for Photoshop, Lightroom, all these Adobe softwares, Final Cut Pro, all these things are in there. So if a switch does something for one software, it doesn't necessarily have to do it for another software, but that's great. Like for example, you can see right here, it's very intuitive. Every button is basically highlighted as you toggle, and you can choose what you want to do with each of these buttons. It comes with a set of presets, which I guess are kind of like the standard industry defaults, but some of them are actually pretty good. So if you close this and you go into Photoshop, for example, and you choose a paintbrush, well, now you can adjust without going into the menus. You can adjust the size of brushes. You can do something, and then you can do undo with a button. You don't have to go into those menus. And you have all these different wheels. If you want to zoom in, zoom out, you have this wheel. And right here, you have a quick reminder of the tools that you can use. If you want to go to stamp tools, you press down, you're in a stamp tool. If you want to go into a brush tool, so all these things when you're working saves time. So I'm going to close this and go into Final Cut Pro, which is what I use and what I was most excited about to see. There you go. So you can basically slide in and out at different speeds through your timeline. You can zoom it up. You can zoom up the main screen. So all this stuff is a lot faster. If you want, I'm not sure what all the tools do yet, but already just being able to use this wheel to go back and forth in the editing timeline, and it's really, really precise. So I can really fine tune what I'm doing, and this saves a lot of time. It's very heavy, so it's not sliding around, and all the notches, knobs, and grooves here make it easy to work without looking. I'm actually really excited to work with this and learn it. So the TourBox wasn't exactly plug and play. I did realize that finally the USB, the traditional USB did have an adapter that you could remove to make it into a USB-C, which I really appreciate, which was one of the only things I was gonna dock as a criticism. The weight of it was nice, it felt intuitive. I did have to go in and download a software, but the software itself is really well designed. They have like presets for Adobe Premiere, presets for Final Cut Pro. So this thing was designed with software in mind for the people who are going to use it, all the designers, all the most popular software. So I'm guessing there's regular updates. So as soon as there's a new version of Final Cut Pro or Illustrator that comes out, or Photoshop, probably there is a corresponding TourBox update. But so far, I'm really enjoying the feel of this, and I was up and saving time right away. Eventually, I think this matte finish will probably start looking glossy, as a lot of tools do. My old black mouse was kind of had a finish like this, but now it's literally just been scraped down. It's like to its bare ass. So I have a feeling this might do the same. So I'm gonna give this an enthusiastic 9 out of 10. The only thing that could potentially bring this down is if it breaks down, or if I see that the construction of the knobs and buttons start breaking really early. But from my first impression is really, really good. If you're a graphic designer or a video creator and have used the TourBox, either the Bluetooth version or this wired version, give me some feedback. Let me know if you think this device improved your workflow and if it saved you time in the end, and let me know if you think it was worth the money. If you like content like this, follow me, and also go check out my shorts, which are on a whole other level of stupid.
It's you. Ooh, ooh, I'm in love.